Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to meal prep my full work weeks of meals. So sorry, this voiceover has been added after the fact. If you've come back to see the video again, thank you so much. We're starting off by making the filling for my pork verde carnivore enchiladas. I like to trim any large fat caps off of my meat and add it to sections Ziploc in my freezer. So I have a Ziploc for pork, one for chicken, and one for beef. I just like to save it, render it down, and I use it as like a butter replacement in many situations. But you don't want to take off all the fat because you want it to stay moist. I'm going to season this mildly. I would have used more of this pollo seasoning by Chef Marito, but I didn't have any more. I used the last bit of the pollo, some Badia complete seasoning, some chili powder, some meat tenderizer seasoning, which is basically just a seasoned salt, which I really love to use it in place of salt, some oregano, and then we're also going to use some onion powder. I season both sides generously. Make sure you rub it in. Use gloves for easier cleaning. Take them off, swap them out. And if you notice, I have one hand that's touching the meat and one hand that's touching my seasoning bottles. I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch of this lemon pepper. It is a very salty seasoning. It's just like lemon pepper, so use it gently. And then I just added about half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce to each pork roast. This is a pork end roast. I think it's a total of 6.5 pounds with the bone in. And I believe when I weighed it, it was about 2.5 pounds of bone that came out. There, I added a teaspoon of lemon zest, the juice of a lemon, and about a cup to a cup and a half of salsa verde, and half a cup of water just to thin it out. You see me setting my Instant Pot to slow cook on high for 6 hours. It ends up being 8 hours, and make sure when you slow cook, you flip the lid to venting. Now we're going to start the filling for my Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers, and as well as we're going to start the egg bake as well. For my Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers, I started with a tablespoon of olive oil, 2 diced bell peppers, half a red onion, and about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. For the egg bake over here, I'm cooking down 1 pound of ground turkey breakfast sausage, and I add the last tablespoon I had of minced garlic. I'll buy a big bag of pre-peeled garlic, and I mix it up in my mini food chopper or food processor, and I will just keep it as my own garlic. I like it. It's cheaper, and it tastes better to me. I did not season the peppers and onions yet. I'm going to season the meat and then season it again once I add the peppers and onions back into it. So I took the peppers and onions out of the pan, added my 3 pounds of 80/20 ground beef, seasoned it with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce, onion powder, a little bit of smoked paprika, and some oregano. For my egg bake, I'm saving the ground turkey fat and the juice that comes off of it because we'll mix it all in with the eggs in just a moment. Once the meat is all browned up, you'll see me drain the fat. But first, for my eggs, while the meat is cooking, I'm cracking 20 eggs. That's me 4 eggs per serving for my breakfast bake. And then here I am draining the fat out. I like to scoop some of the meat out just so I don't risk losing any. And then I save my fats. I don't always get a chance to use it, so I may end up having to dump it after a certain time frame. But I do like to keep a container of each type of meat, also fat, in the fridge as well for easy using. It's really good if you use it instead of butter for eggs. So on that pan in the back, you see 6 bell peppers that I cut in half and cleaned, roasted for 10 to 15 minutes with a little bit of salt and pepper at 375. I've added the peppers and onions back to the ground beef and seasoned it with the same exact seasonings that I used on the ground beef by itself. I hand shred it because it saves you carbs that way. 8 ounces of mozzarella, and I added 4 ounces of Neufchâtel, which is like cream cheese, but it is lower fat and lower calorie. And I'm adding about half a cup, which is a handful, of the shredded cheese into the beef mixture for the filling, just to make it a little cheesier. Once it tastes how you like it, go ahead and I have a 4-ounce scoop that I use to fill each of my bell pepper halves. 2 of these equals a serving, so you get 8 ounces of filling and a whole bell pepper. I went ahead and topped it with the rest of the cheese and threw it in the oven. Just cook it till the tops are golden brown. Now for my eggs, I have again the 20 eggs. I added onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and a little bit of smoked paprika. And I'm just going to whisk that up really well. And then I add all of the ground turkey mixture. The juices, the fat, everything. And then off camera, I had shredded 8 ounces of Colby Jack cheese, which I mixed in as well. Again, this makes 5 servings. I covered that with foil and stuck it in my 375 oven. I believe this cooked for 35 to 45 minutes. But go ahead and check the recipe below. I would suggest cooking it at like 325 for longer. So here are the stuffed bell peppers. This is a full serving. If you wanted to have a smaller meal and have carbs, I would do half of the pepper on a bed of rice. Now we're going to make the filling. We're going to start making the enchiladas. I have shredded the pork. I've added a little bit of the consomme, which came out of the crock pot. I added some lime pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, Badia total seasoning, and a little bit of chicken bouillon. And I'm going to mix that up. In the skillet, what I'm doing is I'm spraying a light amount of nonstick spray, and I'm cooking my egg life wraps just a little bit because I think they need that just to fix the texture. And then for the meat mixture, it was still a little dry, so I added some more salsa verde. I fill each enchilada with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of the pork mixture and about 1 tablespoon of the shredded cheese, just because I was watching the macros on this. So in order to have better macros, I had to have less cheese. We don't waste cheese though. The rest went on top of the casserole, on top of the enchiladas. Now I'm going to cover the enchiladas with, the consomme from the crock pot, with some more of the chicken bouillon and a touch of the lime seasoning. Mix it up well, a little bit of salsa verde, and then we're going to cover this and put this in the oven. Everything today is cooking at 375. This is going to end up cooking for about 35 to 40 minutes as well. I would definitely say be mindful of your salt content.
Hey y'all, and thank you so much for seeing today's video. As you saw, I made my breakfast, lunch, and dinner for this work week. It is all keto, minus the salsa verde. These enchiladas would be carnivore. You saw me make my sausage, egg, and cheese casserole, breakfast casserole. My Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers. Since they've cooled off, the cheese is hardened up, but you saw how they came out when they were fresh, delicious, and when they reheat, the cheese is all melty again. And then again, my pork verde carnivore enchiladas. These are really good. I already had a bite. Somehow, this should have made 20, which would be 4 for 5 days. Somehow, I only ended up with 18. I don't know how that happened. I can't imagine both packs only were 1 short, unless they're 9 packs instead of 10, and I missed that somehow. But anyway, that's fine. I can go out to dinner one night, maybe go to Yama, do something carnivore or keto, or I can just make something at home as well. I have 1 extra for this week. I do lunch with my coworkers, so I'm gonna give 1 of them to her. And yeah, y'all, I had a great time meal prepping today. Majority of it, the thing that took the longest was slow cooking the pork. I have a lot of pork left over, a couple pounds worth, because I am making some empanadas for coworkers for Monday. So I've already got that seasoned and cooling, and then Sunday night I'll prep the empanadas, and Monday morning I will bake them because I'm not too comfortable frying. But it is very hot in my kitchen. I have been cooking all day. My oven is still burning up. I just turned off the Instant Pot, and I'm so glad how these dishes came out. As always, check down below. There will be recipes and macros. And yeah, y'all, thank you so much for coming back to see today's video. I am really enjoying keeping up with my channel, and I have so much coming out for you guys soon. So please make sure you stay tuned. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you try any of these recipes. Let me know what you think of them, and how you're doing on your journey. And if you made it this far in the video, please leave down below a chili pepper emoji. I'm feeling I'm in a spicy mood thanks to these enchiladas. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for coming back to see today's video. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you along for my journey and talk with you down below about yours. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.